Hey, it's Ashley Johnnies, and today we'll be discussing or I'll be answering with my opinions and reading some others' opinions from questions on the Girls Ask Guys site. So, the first one is what would men do if women weren't in the world? Some girl asked that question. And I I'm not gonna say my opinion. I'm just gonna tell you what I agree with because I don't really have too much of an opinion on it enough to be like, and that's why I didn't answer it. But I agree with these. Someone said they'd have huge arms. Then someone else said hospitals would be treating hemorrhoid cases forever. I think so. Okay, I don't care. It's funny. But yeah, I really think so. And then some guy said, I'd start laughing because now all men are every bit as romantically alone as me, so they have nothing to say. Okay. Um, Now the next question is, are real relationships dying a slow death, or can true love still survive and conquer all? Um, my opinion is it's not dying slow. I think it's already dead. I don't even think that real love actually exists. I think everyone goes with someone for a reason, even though others would like to shame other people on what they're getting into a committed relationship for. But really, everybody doing it and it's not for love. Or shall I say most are. And it's to the point where the few, you can't count that as a good case to be like, yeah, isn't it love? Like, because it's not. So, no. Which is what I think. So, this guy said, we live in a day and age of hookups, friends with benefits, instant gratification, and cheaters, liars, and selfish individuals. Relationships and love are hard. They take work and effort from both people involved. Laziness is a part of why relationships don't work. Once a guy or a girl snags or gets into a relationship, they become complacent, and people are just more lazy in general these days. They lack the drive to put forth work and effort into anything, much less a relationship. I think this can also create the problem of taking your partner and their traits, quirks, etc. for granted. Rushing into things is also a problem. These days, people don't take the time to learn anything about the person they want to be before getting involved romantically with them. And because of that, people often get involved with people who don't share their vision of the future, may have competing ideals or things about them the the other person doesn't like, and who they aren't compatible with or have poor chemistry with. And chemistry, compatibility, and a mutually desired view of the future are all the things that are needed. Communication is something I've seen to be a problem too. Partners don't communicate their worries, fears, or really anything. Communication and honesty are vital, probably the most vital things in a relationship. When you don't communicate, problems can sit there and fester and then just explode. And became, he said became, but I think he meant and become a real become real big issues that can threaten a relationship. Same thing applies to not communicating. Things like that, you what you like or dislike. A lot of people are afraid to do that because of what they think their partner might think. Instant gratification. People want their cake and want to eat it too, and they want it now. People these days lack patience. People lack morals and values these days, which I think is part of the problem. People who cheat, lie, and sneak around, they aren't honest. They lack solid morals and values. People are selfish these days too, and often forget that it's important to put mutual satisfaction at the top of your list. For both you and your partner, you need to be your partner's friend as well as lover, and both of you need to make sure the other is satisfied physically but also emotionally. A relationship needs all of the above and more to truly flourish. I'm old fashioned when it comes to dating, always have been, and my past relationships never yielded much. But I still hold out for a solid, healthy relationship, real love, marriage, or kids, and all that because I know it's out there. I'll have it sooner or later, but I think it's worth waiting around or searching for someone who I can give it to and who can give it to me in return. Someone who can make you genuinely happy and who you can do that for in return is worth far more than anything in this world. The last paragraph that he said about he's waiting and holding out. I'm not holding out though. I'm not doing that. I agree with everything he said, but that I just didn't want to omit it because then it probably wouldn't be cohesive. Anyways, so he responded to that my take or article that way, and I agree with his opinion. So there's nothing else to say on that matter. But I will be putting up responses from the previous question and maybe this question that I thought were funny, but especially the first question that I couldn't fit into what I was saying earlier, or I couldn't say. I'm gonna squeeze it in the outro, the end credits. They're gonna be like the odd end credits. They were funny. They made me laugh. It's rolling.